This is the NFL Mock Draft 2.0, post-Carolina Panthers trade and post-NFL free agency. So let's get straight into this thing. With the first overall pick, have the Carolina Panthers selecting C.J. Stroud, quarterback from The Ohio State University. Perfect plug-and-play quarterback in play day one. Was one of the best college quarterbacks in the Ohio State program of all time. Great accuracy, great poise when it comes to moving the ball down the field. Fits everything that Josh McCown, the quarterback coach, and most importantly, the head coach, Frank Reich, would love to work with. The size, sneaky mobility, and can push the ball down the field. Fits the need for the Carolina Panthers on day one, a team that has struggled at the quarterback position for years now. With the second overall pick, another team that's been struggling in the quarterback position, the Houston Texans, having them selecting Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama. To me, this is the best quarterback in this NFL draft class. Great mobility inside and outside the pocket, does great with traffic around him. Some people compare him to Patrick Mahomes because he is so great off script. But the crazy thing is, with Bryce Young, and his only downside is his size. Do you believe that you can hold up with the size? Do you think that he won't be able to work at the next level? If that's the case, the Texans may go a different way, but I believe he's the perfect quarterback for this team. You just re-signed Laramie Thompson to be the bodyguard for this kid, keep him upright, and he'll give you a lot of great games moving forward. With the third overall pick, I can see the Arizona Cardinals trading out of this spot. I can see them staying in this spot. If they stay in this spot, and I believe that they will, I'm selecting Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. I know that they need pass rush, but Jalen Carter can give you pass rush. He can stop the run. I know he had the one incident off the field. He won't suffer any jail time, but this is a Cardinals team that needs some defensive line help. You can get a pass rusher in the second round. You got Zaven Collins, a good linebacker for you. You win defense in years previous, but you got a brand new head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Kyler Murray's going to miss a lot of next season dealing with an ACL injury. You're looking to trade DeAndre Hopkins. It's basically a rebuilding team with some good pieces. You get your core defensive player for years to come, and Jalen Carter can rush the passer and can also stop the run up the middle of the field. And you go against a similar player like this and Aaron Donald, I think they take him right here. He'd be a great building block for this team. With the fourth overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts have two quarterbacks they can go with here. They can go with Will Levis. They can go with Anthony Richardson. But you have a head coach now that just was the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He just saw what Jalen Hurts did up close and personal. And one thing that Jalen Hurts did was develop. You bring in Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida. You pair him up with Jonathan Taylor. You have those big targets on the perimeter in Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr. It'll make his job a lot easier. I believe the head coach can develop him to his highest ceiling, and he has the highest potential of any quarterback in this draft class. Anthony Richardson solves the need for the Indianapolis Colts, a team that's been quarterback deprived since Andrew Luck has retired. With the fifth overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks are in a great situation here. This team gets to select Will Anderson, linebacker / defensive end from Alabama. Great player. You pair him up with Chan Nwosu, who had 9.5 sacks. You pair him up with Darrell Taylor. This is a team that struggled to get pass rush at home. They struggled to stop the run. Will Anderson can do all of that. Quick off the edge. Is very twitchy. Reminds you a lot of Michael Parsons. But this kid could be a generational pass rusher and something the Seattle Seahawks desperately need. With the sixth overall pick, another team that just selected a generational pass rusher in last year's draft, the Detroit Lions. They can go with another pass rusher here, but they went in free agency. They got some help in the secondary by getting Cameron Sutton, getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but those guys are on prove-it deals. Cameron Sutton is on a 3-year deal. You need to get more secondary help. Jeff Okudah was the last corner that you took this high, so getting a guy like Devon Witherspoon right here, cornerback from Illinois, will help you out. Great athleticism, great size, and can press up any wide receiver in the next level, and is an amazing tackler as well, something that the Detroit Lions need, and he fits the Dan Campbell prototype for what a defensive player should be on this team. With the seventh overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders had a very good free agency in my opinion. You got Jacoby Myers, you got Jimmy Garoppolo, but the very interesting thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's just a bridge quarterback. I know this won't be the popular decision with what I'm about to do right here, but I have them selecting Will Levis, quarterback from Kentucky. He's a guy that's not going to be able to step in for you in year 1 or 2, but eventually down the line, he can do it. Has freak athleticism inside and outside the pocket, and has the strongest arm in this draft class. Will fit what Josh McDaniels wants to do, and you're putting them in a system with a strong run game with Josh Jacobs, and amazing wide receivers such as Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Jacoby Myers. He can work for you long term, and you can get defensive help later in this draft. With the 8th overall pick, speaking of a team that needs defensive help, it's the Atlanta Falcons. They went in to free agency, and they acquired the best safety in free agency in Jesse Bates. You're going to go out here in this NFL draft class. You're going to go out there and get your pass rusher, and Tyree Wilson, defensive end from Texas Tech University. Straight up beast. This guy is going to be one of the best pass rushers in this draft class. Already one of the stronger rushers in this draft class. Talk about setting the edge and stopping the run. This is a kid that came onto the scene, had the one breakout year, but don't let that fool you. He's a very good, consistent pass rusher, and they need to get pass rushers around Grady Jarrett. So getting a guy like Tyree Wilson will work out for the Atlanta Falcons. The 9th overall pick. This is the team that had the first overall pick. So they traded back with the Carolina Panthers. That team is the Chicago Bears. They need defensive help still. You got DJ Moore. That's a good weapon for Justin Fields. You're pairing it up with the other wide receivers on this team, such as Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney. So I don't have him going wide receiver here, but you need some more defensive help. You did go into free agency. You got TJ Edwards. You got Tremaine Edmonds at the linebacker position, but you need pass rush. Had them selected Miles Murphy, defensive end from Clemson, can flip the edge, can go get you consistent pressure a lot. Something that Matt Eberflus was on the sideline being visibly upset about. This team couldn't get to the quarterback. So you trade back, get some extra first round pick of next year, and get you a star defensive end that can help impact your team immediately. And Miles Murphy and can get more offensive help later in this draft class with the extra picks that you acquired in that Panthers trade. With the 10th overall pick, this is a very interesting one. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a very good free agency as well. They lost some guys, but you retained Darius Slay. You retained James Bradbury. Bradbury is still good, even though he got the holding call that sealed the game against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Darius Slay did tail off as the season went on, but he was still very good. But those guys are getting up there in age. I'm selecting Christian Gonzalez right here, cornerback from Oregon. This is a guy that can sub in for you and can be a number one corner on day one. And the reason why I believe that Howie Roseman would do this, we've seen in years previous. They selected Jordan Davis. They knew that Javon Hargrave may go out there and leave like how he did. You're getting a replacement that can sit behind these guys and learn from them. It's going to be a short-term and a long-term game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and getting one of the best corners in this class with the 10th overall pick is amazing for a team that just went to the Super Bowl. With the 11th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans need help on their offensive line. They need to go out there and protect Ryan Tannehill as much as possible. You lost your guard to the Chicago Bears, but going out here and getting Peter Skoronski, tackle from Northwestern, will help out this team in many ways. It helps protect Ryan Tannehill, and it also helps up opening running lanes for Derrick Henry. The reason why Ryan Tannehill struggled last season was because of the injuries, because they couldn't protect him. They were with ankle injuries. Going out there and getting the smartest tackle in this class and the best pass protecting tackle in this class will help out as a whole. With the 12th overall pick, this is very interesting. I know a lot of people may scratch their head with this move, but after the Houston Texans selecting Paris Johnson, tackle from The Ohio State University. It's the best plug-and-play tackle, can play left or right tackle for you. The reason why I have them going tackle, you did just retain Laramie Tunsil, but you need to build up these trenches to protect your quarterback in Bryce Young, and the best way to do that is by getting that offensive line secured in the best way possible. You can get your wide receiver in the second and third round, but getting a tackle that is nasty in the run game, but is very good in the pass game as well. He was a bodyguard for C.J. Stroud's Ohio State teams. Getting him to protect Bryce Young will work out just well with this Houston Texans squad. With the 13th overall pick, have the New York Jets selecting Brian Branch, safety from Alabama. As I record this, they have not traded for Aaron Rodgers just yet, but they need to get more defensive help on the back end. You have a Sauce Gardner. You have good safeties on this team already, but you're getting a guy that can be very versatile here. To me, he's the best safety in this draft class, plug and play, and fits the Robert Saleh type of a guy that can play inbox and can play single high safety for you, has little to no weaknesses in his game, and can also be a ball hawk as well in this system with Robert Saleh. The 14th overall pick, I have the New England Patriots selecting Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. They did go in free agency and they got Juju Smith-Schuster. And as of yet, they haven't went out and traded for another wide receiver, but you need to get more wide receiver help. You lost Nelson Aguilar, and you've been missing on wide receivers in the years previous. You need to go out here and get a pure route runner that can help out Mac Jones. You can get you a tackle in the second or third round that help this team out. They got some tackles in free agency, but you need to get an explosive wide receiver. You have Tyquan Thornton, but you need to get you an explosive route runner and can make things happen. He can play inside and outside the slot, has smooth hands, and can be Mac Jones' best friend on this team. With the 15th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers can go a lot of ways here. They've been going defense a lot in previous drafts. As of now, they don't even have a tight end listed on their depth chart. Robert Tonyan left this team, and they didn't re-sign any top-end tight end talent. So I have them selected Micah Mayer here, tight end from Notre Dame. He is the best tight end prospect in this draft class. It is rich to be selecting a guy this high when this is a very good tight end class. But the thing is here, Jordan Love needs a lot of weapons. You have Christian Watson. You have Romeo Doubs. You need to make his life easy. So going out there and getting Michael Mayer will help it out a lot. He's a good run blocker, but is an amazing vertical threat and reminds me a lot of George Kittle. And Coach LaFleur came from that same system as Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and how they like to use their tight ends in a lot of ways. This will help Jordan Love develop to the next level. With the 16th overall pick, the Washington Commanders made some moves this offseason. They got their offensive line right by going out there and getting Andrew Wiley, and after them selecting Joey Porter Jr., cornerback from Penn State. I know it may make some people scratch their heads, but remember, they just let William Jackson go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He just got released, and things got sour with William Jackson III very quickly. They need a corner that can get in this division and match up well with guys like CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, and crew. And the first thing by doing that is shredding up that secondary and getting a corner that fits the Ron Rivera prototype, and that'll be Joey Porter Jr. Great press corner and extremely good on those rangy deep balls as well. With the 17th overall pick at the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. 0 sacks allowed last season. To me, this kid is one of the best tackles in this draft class. The reason that I have him falling this far is because he did play in Georgia. All those guys are beasts. You could say it was the system they was in, but he could play left to right tackle for you. He will come in immediately and just play left tackle for this team. Amazing run blocker, needs work in that department, but is extremely well in the pass game and will help out Kenny Pickett and this offensive line long term. With the 18th overall pick, this is where the Detroit Lions get Aiden Hutchinson some help. They just went cornerback in this mock draft. They need to go out there and get Aiden Hutchinson a pass rushing buddy. Lucky for them, having to go on Lucas Van Ness, defensive end from Iowa. Didn't start last season, but had 6.5 sacks and was tremendous in the run department and also tremendous in getting pressure on the quarterback. Imagine a situation when it's him and Aiden Hutchinson. You're double teaming Aiden Hutchinson and he can get a lot of one-on-one snaps. It's ferocious and has one of the highest motors in this draft class of a defensive player. With the 19th overall pick at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Cam Smith, cornerback from South Carolina, is everything that Todd Bowles wants in the corner. Extremely glue type of corner, will go out there and defend the slants and the post routes, extremely physical. The thing is with Cam Smith, he would match up very well with Jamal Dean and having Antoine Winfield in that secondary as well. This could be one of the most aggressive secondaries in all of football. And the reason why he would fit the Todd Bowles system so well, he can stick on the island on his own, didn't get beat much when teams wanted to blitz. And what is the number one thing Todd Bowles wants to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Blitz the passer. With the 20th overall pick at the Seattle Seahawks going defense again, Trent Simpson, linebacker from Clemson. The best interior linebacker in this draft class, can cover tight ends in space and can also cover running backs out the backfield. You did get Devin Bush, but he's just going to be a bench type of guy. You're going to be missing out on Jordan Brooks for the first half of the season as he recovers from his ACL injury. This guy can come in and be a tackle machine for you, stop those tight ends in that division, and can also blitz the passer in the middle of the field. Fits what Pete Carroll wants to do and is a very good athletic linebacker. With the 21st overall pick, have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College. I know they have a contract situation going on right now with Austin Eckler, but this team still needs a burner that can go down the field and stretch the field. You have him alongside Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Things will get ugly for defenses. He can stretch out the field while those guys eat up space, and he can also get the deep ball going with Justin Herbert as well. Something that the Chargers struggle to deal with is stretching the field, and that's something that Zay Flowers can do and will fit well in the Kellen Mond system. With the 22nd overall pick, after the Baltimore Ravens selecting Quentin Johnson, a wide receiver from TCU. What has been the one thing with the Baltimore Ravens? They don't have weapons for Lamar Jackson. Well, you have Mark Andrews. Rashawn Bateman is a good wide receiver. He can't stay healthy. But you look at Quentin Johnson, has a great body and speed to work at the next level. I know that a lot of Baltimore Raven fans may be getting PTSD right now because he has a similar build to Rashad Perryman. But the thing is with Quentin Johnson, he has that breakaway speed to get open in space and didn't deal with injuries like Rashad Perryman. He does have some drops, but he worked extremely well in the system. Just comes down to his development, and he would be extremely great in play action situations. With the 23rd overall pick at the Minnesota Vikings selecting Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver from The Ohio State University. You just released Adam Thielen. You still have Justin Jefferson, who is the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, but you need to go out there and get him some help. Losing Adam Thielen is going to hurt, but getting Jackson Smith-Njigba, who can work in the slot and replace what Adam Thielen did, and can also work with Kirk Cousins, with TJ Hockenson as well, you're getting that very special team the Minnesota Vikings can have offensively. You're basically subbing out an old guy for a souped up younger version of him. With the 24th overall pick, after the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Anton Harrison, tackle from Oklahoma. They need to get their offensive line in check. You lost Jawan Taylor to the Chiefs. That is a major need that they need to fill in right now. I understand you made some free agency moves, but go out there and keep Trevor Lawrence upright. Get some offensive line help, because we saw what happened this rookie season. You can't keep him upright. Things may go sour. You bring him in this type of system with Doug Peterson, he'll be a very good tackle, is extremely good in the run game and extremely good on screens, needs some development in the pass game, but I believe that he can work at the next level. This is all about keeping Trevor Lawrence upright. With the 25th overall pick, the New York Giants had another very interesting free agency. You extended Daniel Jones long term. You just traded for Darren Waller. You also franchise tag Saquon Barkley. But you need more weapons than just Darren Waller and bringing back Sterling Shepard. Have him selecting Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee. Now, it may be too rich to select him in the first round. Breakaway speed is always open and is a quarterback's best friend. He has a similar build to Wan'Dale Robinson, but he's faster than Wan'Dale. You can have a situation to where it's Wan'Dale Robinson on the field, Jalen Hyatt, and Darren Waller. Those are speed demons on the field with Saquon Barkley. This is what the Giants need. Get faster and quicker on offense, and this is something the general manager has been wanting to do for quite some time. Get a bunch of speed out there, work off the run game, and we've seen what Jalen Hyatt was able to do with Hendon Hooker at Tennessee. Take the top off the defense. And that's what he's going to be able to do with Brian Dable at the next level. With the 26th overall pick, their division rival had the Dallas Cowboys selecting Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas. He ain't even got to move. Just go ahead and just move down there to the Arlington area. Sit down there with those guys in Dallas with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. They've had a very good offseason, in my opinion. You shred up your secondary by trading for Stephon Gilmore. You got another wide receiver in Brandon Cooks who can be receiver number 2. You release Ezekiel Elliott, but you need to get a bell cow back that can go out there and do things for you on every single down. I understand you franchise tag Tony Pollard, but he's not the long-term guy. The Cowboys aren't giving him another running back long-term money. You get Bijan Robinson. You also can limit Tony Pollard carries, which keeps him electric. It's a win-win, in my opinion. With the 27th overall pick, at the Buffalo Bills selecting Osiris Torrance, offensive lineman from Florida. The reason why I say offensive lineman, he's played all over the offensive line in Florida, from left guard to right guard. The kid can do it all. And the Buffalo Bills have struggled to win football games in the postseason because they can't run the football. It's not the running backs that they have. James Cook is a good running back, but they need to go out there and get more physical up front. Osiris Torrance can do that. It is one of the best run blocking guards in this class and will bring a nastiness to that Buffalo Bills team. With the 29th overall pick, have the New Orleans Saints selecting B.J. Ojulari, defensive end from LSU. They need to get more pressure up front and also a potential Cameron Jordan replacement. Cameron Jordan can't play forever, even though he is still a very good defensive end. Having him learn from Cameron Jordan and also playing alongside him and also having him come off the bench as well will work out very well for a Saints team that's making a run to try to win that division. With the 30th overall pick at the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Keion White, defensive end from Georgia Tech. They need to go out there and get extra pass rush as well. We know one thing about the Eagles. They love their pass rush. From retaining Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and having Jordan Davis. And they also have Hassan Reddick. But one thing that the Eagles love to do, bring pass rushers off the bench and keep those pass rushers rejuvenated and keep them rested. Keion White can do that for you. Is a bit of a project player, but as the season ended, we saw those NFL glimpses come on film, can shoot off the edge and would be in a great situation with this team. In the last pick in the first round, had the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Will McDonald IV, defensive end from Iowa State. You got George Karlaftis last year, and he was a good defensive end for you. Still needs a lot of development going on, but Will McDonald IV is a very big defensive lineman, similar to George Karlaftis. And the one thing the Chiefs were very good at stopping last season was the run, because they have big defensive linemen. So getting big guys out there on the perimeter to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks to stop the run is how the Chiefs win football games. So let me know how you feel about this NFL draft. What are some things you would change? What is the most shocking pick in this draft? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.